This is Rejani R Nair from Govt College, Nedumangadu. I'll be taking a small session on e-business and cyber laws. My topic is e-business and e-commerce, features and types of e-business, and technology used in e-business. Now, going to e-business and e-commerce. What is e-business? E-business means any transaction or any business that is done with the help of internet. So, the term e-business was used from the year 1996, and e-commerce is said to be one of the important components of e-business. It is not a very essential part of e-business. Moving on to the definition. E-business is any business or transaction done with the help of internet or electronic media, and it is not just buying and selling of goods but other activities like providing services, communicating with the customers regarding any issues to services. But the basic thing is everything is done through electronic media or electronic transactions. Now moving on to the features of e-business. As all of us know, e-business can be set up anywhere, so it is very easy to set an e-business, and there is no geographical boundaries for setting up an e-business, and anyone can buy any product from anywhere at any time from the business concerns, and it is considered to be very cheap than traditional business, and so the transaction risk is higher in e-business. E-business has flexible business hours, 24/7 they can work, and they receive subsidies from the government. There are a few security and integrity issues related to e-business. One of the most important thing is there is no personal touch between the buyer and seller in e-business. They don't meet, and the product takes time to reach the ultimate consumer. Going on to e-commerce. E-commerce is a process for buying, selling, ordering, paying for goods and services over the internet. Some of the examples of e-commerce you may be knowing: online banking, online shopping, online ticket booking, social networking, etc. But one of the most important component of e-commerce is that it should have a website, and all the marketing, advertising, selling and transactions, everything is done with the help of internet. And any monetary transactions related to e-business through electronic media can also be called as e-commerce. Now moving on to what are the different types of e-commerce, or what are the different types of e-business models. First one is business to business, B2B. That is the producers and the traditional wholesalers, they meet with each other and they do business among themselves. Next is consumer to business, B2C. That is when the customer buys the product directly from the business persons. Example, we know Flipkart, Amazon. When we buy something from Flipkart or Amazon, it is a business to consumer. Then next is consumer to consumer. The best example is OLX, a customer who wants to sell a product and a buyer who wants to buy a product. Next comes consumer to business. Here a number of individuals, they make their services or products available in the over internet, and the companies can purchase from the internet. Consumer to administration. Individuals and public administration, they do electronic transactions. Example, distance learning in education, filing of tax returns, payments, social health appointments, etc. Then last one is business to administration. Here the business persons or companies directly contact the government or agencies, and their services have increased because of the e-government that has come into existence. Going on to the difference between e-commerce and e-business. E-commerce involves commercial transactions over internet, and e-business is conducting of business processes. E-commerce is subset, e-business is a superset. E-commerce, like I told before, it requires a website, but e-business, it involves customer relationship management tools and enterprise resource planning, etc. to connect the business processes. E-commerce is just selling and buying of products and services, but e-business includes pre-sale and post-sale efforts. E-commerce is a narrower term and e-business is a broader. e-commerce is more appropriate for B2C, business to customer, and e-business is in the context of business to business. E-commerce has to have a compulsory internet website, but e-business, they can use internet, intranet or extranet. An example of e-commerce, buying something from Amazon, Flipkart, Alibaba.com, etc. Example of an e-business is using of internet by companies like Dell, Amazon for maintaining their business operations, online customer support, email marketing, supply chain management, etc. So these are the basic difference between e-commerce and e-business. Now our next topic is about technology in e-business. That is, what are the different types of technologies used in e-business. Moving on to e-business technologies. There are two e-business technologies or innovations happening. That is, one is sustaining innovation and the second one is disruptive innovation. See, whatever innovations are happening in the society, companies are aware of it, but sometimes the business structure doesn't allow them to pursue these because they think that these may not be profitable, and another reason is that they might think that it might take away the resources that they have accumulated for over the years. So these are the two types of innovations. Now going on to sustaining innovation. Sustaining innovation is one which improves existing products. That is, it does not create new markets or value markets, but it develops existing ones with better values, allowing the companies to compete against each other, sustaining improvements. So sustaining innovation, it does not create new markets, but it develops the existing ones with better products or better values. Now, what does sustaining innovation or sustaining innovation company target? They target the high-end customers or the main customers who are demanding, and they promise them with better performance than which they were given before. So the customers are promised innovations every year, and some innovations can be very much breakthrough ideas, or some products that are able to compete with the competitors' product. So whatever difficult the technology is, they are ready to adopt the innovation, and the established competitors always wins the battle of sustaining technology. So sustaining innovation, it helps them in making a better product that they can sell for higher profit the best customers, and the established competitors have powerful motivations to find the sustaining battles. Now, if you take an example of a sustaining innovation, we can see that the world's best pharmaceutical company named Pfizer, it was founded in 1849. So, what the company did was, when it was first established, it was established as a manufacturer of fine chemicals. But after a year, the company discovered a medicine called terramycin, and it helped the company in a successful and ongoing expansion into a research-based pharmaceutical company. So a chemical company became a pharmaceutical company by improving their existing product, and it didn't stop there. It continued its success with medicines and vaccines like Zythromax, Lipitor and Viagra. So what this company did was, it increased its research by building its brands, pipelines and profile through major acquisitions. So what is sustaining innovation? It does not create new market, but it develops existing ones with better values. Now going on to the next innovation, that is disruptive innovation. A disruptive innovation helps to create a new market and value network. It actually entirely disrupts an existing market and value market. disruptive technology is widely used, but disruptive innovation is more useful concept, and it is a business model and not the technology that creates the disruption in the company. So the main point to note in a disruptive innovation is that it does not take place with established competitors. The disruptive innovation will take place only with the company that has been just established or going to establish, or a bigger company. A company which has already established their product in the market cannot go in for disruptive innovation. Now, if we take an example or go into in detail, what is disruption? It is a process whereby a smaller company with a fewer resources is able to successfully challenge a bigger company. So, what the bigger firms or a bigger company does in the market is that they will focus on improving the products or services that are demanded by their high-end customers. So the bigger firms tend to give more importance to the high-profile customers, and in that process they will ignore some segments or overlook the needs of some segments of customers. Now the smaller firm, this is where the smaller firm comes into effect. What the smaller firm does is they will target these ignored sections or overlooked segments of customers. Now they will give them the product that they need with of course reduced at a reduced rate, and they will get their confidence, the confidence of the lower or the ignored segments of customers. They will get their confidence, and the customers will start buying from the smaller firms. Now once smaller firm has established their business by providing the ignored sections, they will then enter the market and move on to the up market where there are high end or high profile customers. And when they are getting into the market, the bigger firms will know about their entry, but they will not react very vigorously, because they are looking into the needs of the high-end customers. Now once the smaller firms starts going up market, they will cater to the needs of both the high-end customers and the ignored segments of customers. Now when the mainstream or when the high-end customers starts adopting or starts buying the product of the smaller firms in a large volume, then the bigger firm will realize that the their product has been, or their product market has been disrupted, and this is the process of disruptive technology. It creates new market. It entirely disrupts the market of the bigger firms, and the smaller firms, they come into play in the market, and the smaller firms actually hinders the bigger firms sale of products from the market, and the customers would prefer the product of the smaller firm, because they cater to the needs of both the high end and the lower end customers. Now if we go for an example of disruptive innovation, when Apple introduced iPod, there was a strong technology with groundbreaking business model, but the real innovation was making digital music downloadable. It was easy to download digital music when Apple was introducing iPod. So customers went in huge numbers to buy Apple iPod, and the company had record-breaking profits with its hardware, software and services. So the Apple iPod, the business model, when it was combined with integrated hardware, software and service with low profile iTunes and high profit iPod. So going on to the next topic, that is types of disruptive innovations. There are three types of disruptive innovations: lower end disruption, that is Instead of creating new markets, the business will use low-cost business models that cater to the needs of the least attractive customers of established companies. Example is a Korean automobile. They entered the European and North American market, catering to the needs of the low-end customers, and how Amazon disrupted the traditional bookstores. New market disruptions is they will involve products that are more affordable to own. For example, 60% of the people in the age group of 18 to 34-year-old were getting their time from their phones. So a new market was created with the introduction of smartwatch. And hybrid disruptions, it involves both new market and low market approaches, that is Indigo Airlines and Go Air Airlines. They targeted the people who were in flying as well as customers who were at the lower end of major airlines value network. So hybrid disruption will involve both the new market and the low-end customers by targeting, just like we said before, the ignored sections or the overlooked sections, or the people who were in flying and the customers who were in the ignored sections of other major airlines. So when they target these two people, a hybrid disruption will occur. Next, if we go on to the next topic, is Internet or World Wide Web sustaining technology. If we take the example of a banking industry, it has created a new major growth in the banking industry using disruptive technology, because and again with that, another sustaining technology is also in use by the introduction of ATM. Because there was a convenient distribution channels, ATM, and so in banking industry both these technologies have been used. Now, has internet changed the business in the information age? That everybody knows about how internet has affected our life, our day-to-day life. It has opened up vast opportunities. Through internet we can communicate with each other using emails, instant messaging, etc. And then business entrepreneurs can stay in touch with their employees and other people. And social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter will have provided a way to connect with friends and colleagues. And it has made a geographically dispersed team to meet from anywhere around the world virtually through the medium of email, cloud computing, video conferencing, etc. Now, sustaining innovation and disruptive innovation. Netflix was launched in 1997, and it was not much appealing to the customers who rented movies. But when Netflix went on to streamline services over the internet, then it was targeting the blockbuster company's core market. And when Blockbuster failed to respond appropriately, naturally the disruptive innovation had already taken place, and Netflix is now one of the major customer, or one of the major company that is showing films online. Now, disruptive model can generate attractive profits, but organizations should not neglect sustaining innovations in favor of disruption. If an innovator is in a dilemma to choose between a sustaining innovation and a disruptive innovation, then it is better that to get a cutting edge innovation within a company, the company should aspire to achieve both revolution and evolution. That is, the disruptive innovation and the sustaining innovation, they should be actually complementing each other, and they should not be an alternative to each other. In a business, you cannot decide which is better, a sustaining innovation or a disruptive innovation. In my opinion, or in the opinion of the company, in the bigger companies, or in the opinion of the markets, it is better that companies go on for both of these. Now there are some terms that need explanation. Collaborative intelligence. What is collaborative intelligence? It is collaboration is to work with others in completing a task and to share achieved goals. Now collaborative intelligence, it is characterized by distributed systems and multi-agent, where each human agent or machine is positioned in such a way to contribute to a problem solving network. So each of them will contribute something to the problem. And collective intelligence, as everybody knows, is needed to solve many challenges. Now what does crowdsourcing mean? It was a term pioneered by Jeff Howe to refer to new ways of problem solving. It is a process of obtaining needed ideas and services and content by taking the contributions from a group of people, like an online community, rather than suppliers or traditional employees. So it also refers to the use of internet to gather value from contribution of many people. So collaborations like Wikipedia always need a group of volunteers to remain relevant. So only if we have an open system, the collaboration will be effective, and for knowledge sharing, only open systems are effective. So crowdsourcing means getting or obtaining ideas from a group of people in an online community. So we go for a recap. We in this session we went through what is the definition of e-commerce and e-business, features, types of e-commerce and e-business models, what is the difference between e-business and e-commerce, and the two technologies that are used in e-business.